It feels like it's been such a long wait for this next interview, and it has, in effect. But a few days from now, Cape Townians are finally going to get a look at what lies ahead for the old Conradie Hospital site. And when I say it's been a long wait, remember that the hospital was closed in 2002. That was 18 years ago. Over the ensuing years, of course, that 22-hectare site was growing increasingly derelict. There were negotiations and challenges and conversations about what should happen. Fast forward to 2018, the province announcing it would sell the site to Conradie Construction to develop a mixed-income housing development on that land. And at the time, it was punted as a real game changer for addressing the lack of affordable housing close to the city and beginning to address the legacy of apartheid spatial planning. That, of course, has remained one of the city's biggest challenges and ongoing dilemmas: how to make the city and the central business district more accessible to the people who need to be able to access it without spending 3/4 of their income on transport. Now, this Thursday evening, Conradie is going to host a pre-launch of the first phase of the new development, and we're getting a bit of a sneak preview today because with me in studio is Mark Shonrock, who is Concord's project leader for Conradie Park, which is the name by which the new development is going to be known. Mark, thanks so much for giving us the scoop today and coming into studio. Welcome.
Pippa, thank you for that lovely intro.
It's been a really long path to get here. How long ago did Conradie first voice interest in this site?
So we probably started tracking the site when it was first released publicly, probably 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. We knew it was in a few other developers' hands before that, during sort of an 8 or 9 year history that we were aware of. And then we started really tracking it 3-4 years ago. We were part of the first RFP process, which didn't quite work. And then Western Cape went back and reworked a few things and formally released it probably 2 years ago now. Yeah. Which we went for fully committed and and were successful.
I mean, when I use the words a game changer, the vision is that this is going to be a space that becomes what is absent in the city at the moment, a space where people of different income levels, of different social classes, of different racial backgrounds live together, send their kids to school together, come up against one another as neighbours for the first time possibly in history, not just for this city, but in fact for the country. This is quite a unique model for the whole of South Africa, not just for Cape Town, isn't it? Absolutely,
and we firmly believe it is a game changer, and we've been at this for 2 years solid, and I think what was envisaged by Western Cape and what we are driving forward, it is going to be a game changer, and we're extremely excited for the final launch. You know, it's been a long time coming, and to get the public there and let them show what we're creating.
So let's talk about what it's going to look like. It's been described as a better living model. What does that include, Mark?
So better living model means, I think the first thing is getting everyone around together in a mixed environment. So it doesn't matter what your background or what your earning status is. It means that you're in a better place to live, whether it's security, whether it's work opportunities, whether it's your time commuting to work. It's a better living model. So all of these factors lead to better living. Spending less money on transport, spending more time with your family. It is a game changer. So we're trying to create an environment where you've got all of this in one area. Whether it's job opportunities, schooling, recreational parks, and retail therapy. You've got it all in one area. So really that's what we're looking at creating.
That area is, of course, located right on the sort of edges of the city, on the site of the old Conradie Spinal Hospital. It's close to the rail network. It's very accessible to the major arteries feeding in by road into the city. The latest figures I saw around what's going to be in there, we're talking about just over 3,600 homes, 2 schools, a commercial centre of 14,500 square metres, retail space of 10,000 square metres. Is that still what we're aiming at, or has it changed since then?
No, that's exactly what we're aiming at. We're also looking at a small business hotel, being next to Old Mutual's head office, worldwide head office. You've got Epping Industrial Area, you've got Biovac Institute, you've got Tiger Brands' head office. It's definitely one of and it adds to the integration and the mixed use. So But really, that is a good summary of where we are currently.
Okay.
And it's just a start. There's also, we hope to deliver more on that.
Now, the crucial thing here is mixed use, mixed income housing. At the time the city first announced this partnership with you, and they spoke about affordable housing units intended for families who earn between 1.5 to 20,000 rand per month. And I think the figure was said it had to be at least 49% of the housing opportunities. Is that what is going to happen, Mark?
That's exactly correct. So of the 3,600 residential units that we are currently intending on delivering, we round it up to 50% will be affordable incomes from 1,500 rand up to the 22,000 rand bracket. And then the balance of the 50% is really your open market residential, which is the 22 upwards.
What's it going to comprise of? Are we talking apartments? Are we talking townhouses, freestanding homes, a mix? Tell us a little bit about the vision that's been created.
So the vision and the intent, both from province's side and city's side, is definitely densification. Mm-hmm. So being a prime piece of land, and there aren't many of them left in such proximity to the CBD. We 10 kilometers from the CBD, we 300 meters from Mutual Station, which picks up the central and the northern line. We 12, 13 k's from the airport. So it is a really great site. There's future My City bus routes, both the feeder and the main. What's the main routes? That are planned in the future. Okay. So we've got train transport, we've got taxis, we've got buses, and we've got possibly, hopefully, My City. So it is all about densification. So we don't actually have any freestanding units.
Okay.
So all the units that are currently being developed will be apartments type mm-hmm. style units. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you're launching a first phase at the end of this week. Does that mean you're ready to sell? Talk to us about what it is that you're putting to the public at the end of this week.
We're ready to sell. So we've been in design phase for the last year, and I think there have been a few queries from the public about registering on the website and not hearing anything. Mm-hmm. We sent out 1 or 2 communications to say, hi everyone, we've got your details. We understood you registered your expression of interest on the Western Cape Government website that they'd been running for the last 3.5 years during this process. So there's some people that registered their interest 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so we've been in design phase, and we've completed that. We've gone through various city approvals, SDP, building plan submission is in, and we're currently waiting, hopefully, approval of that very shortly. And then we're ready to get building, and we're ready to get selling.
So when do you think you'll be breaking ground on this? Is it going to be later this year or
Q2 this year?
Okay, as quickly as that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the civil contractors are on site. They're busy. They're clearing. They're putting in pipes. They're putting in electrical infrastructure. They're putting in sewer, stormwater. So the site is really happening. The external road upgrades start in the next 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
Obviously, I think the biggest thing on people's mind, and maybe you'll get there, I don't want to jump the gun, is traffic. And that's starting in the next 2-3 weeks.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it is the very first question that's come in is, what about the increase in motor vehicle traffic for that area? I know, Mark, you did face challenges from the local residents associations along the way, including some that I think went to court. That was one of the big issues. One of them was to do with the height of the buildings. Another was to do with traffic and congestion and parking. Talk to us a little bit about the traffic issue.
So the traffic was probably the biggest issue of the site. I think the height was quite an easy fix, and they resolved it in the rezoning approval. But the traffic went through 7 public participations. Sure,
okay.
And it was all driven by Western Cape Government. They did the rezoning process themselves directly before they brought on a developer. And I think it got to the stage where Helen Ziller herself was actually meeting with residents and ratepayers associations, trying to agree and assure people that there's a plan, and that the plan is not going to negatively impact them. So as part of the rezoning approval, there was massive traffic upgrades to various roads within the vicinity that we have to upgrade before we can really start bringing people to the site. And we're starting them now. So it's really it's two-phased. But it's widening roads, it's upgrading intersections, it's rationalization of intersections, it's extra turning lanes, and we've had probably the best traffic engineers in, I would like to say, the country, but I'm probably a bit biased. Modeling all of the current traffic, the upgrades, what it's going to do when we bring on more residents, when the school happens, the school hours. So we're modeling it all, and by doing the upgrades that have been conditioned as a requirement, it makes a massive difference to the surrounding road network.
Okay. The schools, I'm glad you reminded me to ask you about that. 2 schools, I think, planned. Is it going to be a primary and a high school, or what's the vision there?
Yeah, so we're providing 2 schools. It's a primary school and a high school. In the end, they need to be able to support 1,600 learners, which I think is really a great achievement, especially with all the history of the Pineland schools at the end of last year, them being full, and families through generations not being able to go to the same school and that. So we're very excited about the school. We're quite far advanced. I can't announce anything yet, but probably in the next 2-3 months we'll be able to announce who the school partner is. And that's just a small aspect. We've also got creches on site. So and not just one creche. We're looking at, because we've got various buildings in that. We've got creches dotted all over. We're looking at a doggy daycare, obviously, people's pets.
Okay.
It's becoming just as important as their children. So yeah, it's something for everyone. And we want them to be able to, and this phrase is so overworked, and we've actually changed it as this live, work, play, learn, is to be able to really experience that within the site.
Just for those who might have joined us late to the conversation, you're listening to Mark Shonrock, who is the project leader at Concord for Conradie Park, which is the new mixed-use, mixed-income housing project to be developed on the Conradie Hospital site on the fringes of Pinelands and Thornton. I'm going to ask you to pop the headphones on, Mark, so that you can listen to our caller, Peter, who's given us a call from Thornton, obviously living nearby. Peter, your thoughts on the development. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pippa, and good afternoon to Mark. I really just want to express my complete misgivings and near disgust about this whole development. And I think I can confidently speak for a lot of people that live in Thornton. I stay on one of the main accesses into Thornton, and daily the traffic is an absolute nightmare. And I simply do not see how this development is going to be of any benefit to people living in Thornton and Pinelands. And the sad thing about it is the Thornton community that is predominantly affected by this development in terms of volume and in terms of traffic coming in and out of Thornton each and every single day. I don't see where Mark talks about a rail network. The rail network is a mess as it is. There's hardly any trains running. That area into Mutual Station is a crime hotspot. It is a no-go area for people just simply to get onto the trains. Thornton Station in itself is needed an upgrade, and that in itself is a problem because people simply don't want to go to that station. It's a health risk going to that station. It's a safety risk. So with all of that said, I don't see how this development is really going to be of benefit to anybody other than a nightmare to those who are really living in Thornton.
Would you like to respond, Mark?
Yeah, thank you for the question, and I think it's a real concern. So I think let's talk about the train stations first. And yes, the trains are in a bit of a dismal state, but that doesn't mean that things will not get better. Recently, I think last week, the administrator of PRASA announced that he's going to spend $1 billion or over on the Central Line, I think it was. And I think we rock bottom with the trains. So, but as part of this development, we've engaged PRASA, and we've got a memorandum of understanding signed by PRASA to spend a certain amount of money on both Mutual Station and Thornton Station as part of this process. They realize it's in disarray, and we've forced the process to say, guys, the development needs the trains, Cape Town needs the trains, and yeah, it's part of the drive of the development that these stations get upgraded. The route to the station, as part of the development, we're upgrading and creating a dedicated NMT route from the Conradie site all the way along Forest Drive Extension.
That's non-motorized transport, for those who don't know the acronym.
NMT,
yeah, okay.
Apologies, yeah. And it's going to be literally 5 meters wide. It's got bike lanes both ways. It's got pedestrians. It's lit. It's got security cameras that feed back to the Conradie Property Owners Association security network. And and leading directly into mutual station. So we, as part of the development, we're providing a safe access for residents, and Thornton residents can benefit from it as well. It's not for use by it's for use by everyone.
It's not strictly only for the people leaving the Conradie site.
Exactly,
Okay.
and there's so many examples of that. I know people are apprehensive to change, but we're so excited about what this development's going to bring. And I would challenge you to come to our launch on Saturday, the public launch. I think it's 10 to 2. And come and look at the pictures of what we're creating and let us talk you through it. Because I think there's a lot of, you have a vision in your mind of what's coming next to you. But once you see what we're creating, I think it's going to uplift Thornton. It's going to increase property prices there. The park that we're creating, that we've got this beautiful linear park that's got this running track along the canal, and we're spending a huge amount of money on the landscaping, and we're plotting a park run as part of the. So Thornton residents must come down with their families. The park is going to have security. It's going to be lit. We're modelling it off the Greenpoint Park model, where unfortunately we have to close it at night. So we keep this kind of sort of integrity, and it becomes an asset for all the people in the area to use. And I would really challenge you to come on Saturday and come and find me. Let us talk you through it, because we've got a few Thornton residents that live with us and that work with us. And before Concord was involved, they were of the same opinion. They were so against it and that. Now that they realize what we're creating and they've seen the pictures and the vision and that, their mindset has totally changed, and they're slowly changing the people that they interact with. We've had lots of interactions with the Longboat Residents Association. Speak to them. Go around there and speak to them. Let them, they're right next to Conradie. Let them know what. Let them know what they think.
Yeah. It's a generous offer. So 10 till 2 on the site on Saturday morning, if anybody, and Sunday as well. So Peter suggested you take Mark up on that offer and go down and check it out for yourself. And I'd love to hear some more feedback from other residents, whether you agree with Peter or have a different view that this is in fact a welcome addition to your neighbourhood, something that the city needs desperately in terms of access to affordable housing. If there are other concerns that you'd like to flag or other things that you're looking forward to, we do have to wrap there with Mark Shonrock, who is Concord's project leader for the Conradie Park project. Thanks for jumping the gun a little bit and giving us a sneak preview as you've done today, Mark, and good luck for the launch later this week.
Thank you, Pippa, and thanks for having us.